What's going on, gamers? So today we got Asha, who's supposed to be taking over Phil's spot, having a tweet here, and there's stuff to talk about here because there's people that have concerns too that she's beginning her role as the CEO of Xbox, and she has three commitments. Now, here's what I want to say real quick. When you first get into a position and it's your first day, everything's fresh. You have to say something positive. You have to make people feel great about what's coming. We've heard this all before with the Xbox brand so many times, but people who've actually been in this industry a long time. Like you could say, these are the best people you've had for Xbox One. Larry Hurd was there, Phil was there, got other people too during the 360 era, and then they led into the Xbox One era. These are all people who've been a part of gaming and know gaming for a long time. And she says, here are my three great commitments. Great games. Well, I have to tell you this. How are you going to make games great as if you were a developer and you said that you were about to go into the industry and replace Phil Spencer, who's been there for 38 years, who travels to Japan and does all those things, did the best he could to his knowledge and ability, which you're not going to replace. He'll still be there. I'll explain that in a second. But how are you going to show up who has no experience in gaming and is pushing AI from the CEO who wants to do that most likely fired Sarah Bond, but coded it, and you're going to make all those development departments, which we've seen what they're capable of, somehow get a golden sun all over them, and they're all better now. Is anybody really buying this? Like, are you really using your common sense? It doesn't make any sense. This is PR, damage control. This brand is still at the worst ever at its all-time low, selling nothing. Prices went up. Game Pass went up. Like, I'm trying to figure out how Phil Spencer leaving, partially because he's still going to be kind of like the controller in the back off the record, with her leading, is going to somehow make all those development departments golden. It just seems like this ridiculous pipe dream again. It's like the same thing all over again, but even worse. And people are just sitting here. It's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with being positive. That's cool because people care about the Xbox brand. I think we all did at one point wanted it to be like the 360 again, or somewhere around that ballpark. You know what I mean? Until you realize the actual picture. Like we really just saw the truth not too long ago, and then here comes this stuff all over again. It's like, let's not be naive and remember who's behind her too at the top with the AI push, and where Windows 11 went. And then all of a sudden you're snapping your finger and putting her there, and they're retiring. Oh, it's about to get golden. Great games about to come. The return of Xbox is about to come back to the 360 era. And it's like, really? I'm sorry, no, yeah, this is not a video about Phil Spencer anymore. So we're gonna pull down the curtain here a little bit. And I think she's a nice person. She may be a nice, sweet person. She may be egoistic almost in a certain sense. You know what I mean? Have that meditation balance going and be nice and maybe do the best that she possibly could. But to think that Xbox is somehow going to be transformed, like it's about to come back and compete with PlayStation and it's like, you gotta be sheep to me to believe this. Because it's like, there's just no way. Now, could things get maybe a little bit better in certain sections? Sure, but are we really going to fall for this again? Like, I'm not falling for it. And I have to say that in the third person and include myself to a certain extent because I never really fell for much. I just wanted to push a pro-consumer aspect with Microsoft like 2 years ago and was hoping that they would have done that. But yeah, they fumbled and stepped on rakes. So I don't doubt her intentions, but what I do know is that I'm not going to sit here and be this damn naive and say that great games are about to start popping up. It's like, no, it's the same thing that was there before. The only difference is she's put in that position. Phil Spencer's leaving. I already said, oh, Sarah Bond's going to go then if he leaves because she was always next to him. That makes 100% sense. And he didn't agree with the AI push. He didn't agree with the $1,000 plus more console. He didn't like any of that. But that's not his decision anymore because it's Microsoft Corporation gaming, right? So that's the type of stuff that's going on. And because of that, the one who's leading has now got her in that position. That was his decision. You see what I mean? This is what he wants. It's not what Phil Spencer wants. And Sarah Bond just kind of sticks to Phil Spencer. So it's not going to be what she aligns with if Phil Spencer doesn't want to align with it. So if he goes, she has to go. And either, like I said, she was forced out, which some people are starting to believe that. We may talk about that separately. Or she left because it feels uncomfortable without him being there. And it's like, yeah, I understand. That was your best friend there. So Larry Herb comes down, who I think is a cool guy. I liked Major Nelson when he was there. All he did was talk about gaming and all of that, even when it was getting negative. He says that's a great start. Keep in mind that as you begin to build out your plan, it may be so bold. Let me add more. Partner with the community, right? He always comes in and helps. And she was like, "You got it. Thanks, Major." Hire Major Nelson, right? It's like, no, I don't think he wants to go back because he liked it the way that it was before it got like that. That's how it is. And you got people coming in there being positive, right? Seth Potato, put the players first, build a strong Xbox brand and console. It's like, but the console is done. It's going to be an overpriced PC from a console perspective. Like the console player's going to be like, dude, that's a lot of money for a console, right? Because they're going to think of it like that. Just like the Steam machine, people are going to say the same thing. If you're trying to come into that field, you have to think historically how a console gamer's mind thinks. Nothing more than 500 unless it's like a pro model, right? But other than that, it's like historically, if you ever think of every single console ever released, it was always under 500 easily. $300, $400, like historically for forever, right? And then handhelds cheaper than that. So like consoles, it's like that's out of the question. It's AI, Microsoft data center pushing. It's going to be PC aspects with OEMs. Nobody has any clue what Xbox is in 2026. If you could define what is an Xbox, then you would bring it back much stronger than ever before. I mean, dude, what a naive statement. That's like saying it's going to be better than 360. It's like this type of stuff is what I mean by like this is sheep stuff. It's unrealistic. You're not giving people a realistic reality here. You have to work from where you're realistically at. As Phil Spencer's leaving, and Sarah Bonham like, this is the situation it's in. It's in a rut, right? And you have to recover. The brand is massively damaged. You didn't give anybody an Xbox closing in wrap. You jacked the price up like 3 times. You jacked the price up of Game Pass. The sales are the worst ever in history. You know what I mean? All studios are tanking down. Then it's all of a sudden like, oh yeah, bring it back stronger than ever. It's like, let's be a little bit more realistic here. There's optimism, but then there's what you call toxic positivity, and that's what this is. Like I said, nothing against her or anything, but it's like we're doing it again. Paris says, bittersweet day to see Phil Spencer retire, but as the new CEO, I look forward to seeing where your leadership and perspective takes Xbox into the next 25 years of gaming. Then we're going to read to what she said on the official blog. And here's my thing, guys, like I said before, because this is about me. Now you know what I think, because we can get to that blog. Phil Spencer is going to be secretly in the back off the record, still kind of directing in a way, and she's going to just be listening and appearing as the person that's doing what he kind of says. It's not like he's done. He's retired from his position, but he is not retired from guiding and directing the Xbox brand. So you're still going to see that with what she can do and what she decides to combine with that, and Satya as well, seeing if that's going to be okay. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. And he even said it. I'll still be, with her during the summer and all of that, and even then after that, because I'll be texting and doing all that. He's still gonna like be doing that. So that's why I say that like I don't think all this stuff right here is gonna be something that you should positively accept so that you can be disappointing. It's like, no, let's be realistic. What's gonna happen is what the developers can actually do and put together, and depending on how much freedom they're given and what's forced on them, because it's like you still have the same staff and development department, and yeah, whoever else didn't get laid off, obviously. So it's the same thing in that sort of sense. Now going over here, this is her message to the Xbox world. She says, "Dear team, today I begin my role as CEO of Microsoft Gaming. I feel 2 things at once: humility and urgency. There's nothing wrong with that. Humility because this team has built something extraordinary over decades. Urgency because gaming is in a period of rapid change and we need to move with clarity and conviction. I am stepping into work shaped by generations of artists, engineers, designers, writers, musicians, operators, and more who create worlds that have brought joy and deep personal meaning to hundreds of millions of players. The level of craft here is exceptional and is amplified by Xbox, which was founded in the belief that the power of games connect people and pushes the industry forward. Thank you, Phil, for his leadership and every studio, platform, and operations team that built this foundation. We are stewards of some of the most loved stories and characters in entertainment and bring players and creators together around the fun and community of gaming in entirely new ways." Yeah, this is all good sounding stuff, and some of it is true because they did build some cool stuff um, when it was like at that point. My first job is simple: understand what makes this work and protect it. That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. And that's kind of like where she has like her thing here. It's still kind of continuing this if you see this. Great games, number 1. Everything begins here. We must have great games beloved by players before we do anything. Unforgettable characters, stories that make us feel, innovative gameplay, and creative excellence. We will empower our studios, invest in iconic franchises, and back bold new ideas. See, invest. More monopolizing, or hopefully internally trying to grow and build, but we'll see though. We will take risk. We will enter new categories and markets where we can add real value grounded in what players care about most. Yeah, risk is very important when it comes to this. I promoted Matt Booty in honor of this commitment. So this was her decision. He understands the craft and the challenges of building great games, has led teams that deliver award-winning work, and has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. See, I don't know about this because a lot of people did not agree with a lot of things with him. No. Even Mikey Barrow went after him multiple times. Second, the return of Xbox. So you see, I feel like this is something that's been crafted and helped as well. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to the players and fans who invest in Xbox, and to the developers who build ambitious experiences for it. Well, here's the thing. You're going the PC route, though. Gaming now lives across devices. That's what you're doing with your brand. PlayStation is still a PlayStation, Nintendo is still Nintendo. Not within the limits of any single piece of hardware. You see, there goes that again. It's like, PlayStation is still PlayStation. You know what I mean? Nintendo is still Nintendo, and they're still like the primary aspect. As we expand across PC, mobile, and cloud, yeah, that's what you're doing. Xbox should feel seamless, instant, and worthy of the communities we serve. We will break down barriers so developers can build once and reach players everywhere without compromise. Third, future of play. So we get the idea. She was just saying this again after it was already there. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. Iconic teams, characters, and worlds that people love. You're gonna have to work on that because Master Chief took a hit. Though we still love Master Chief though. Even in the last Halo, he was still good. Gears of War, you have to make sure. I mean, you can't. It's already where it's at pretty much. And outside of that, you got to work on something else. And worlds that people love, but we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. That's funny. We will build. Remember, she said this. We will build a shared platform and tools that empower developers and players to create and share their own stories. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not cause short-term efficiency to flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. That's absolutely hilarious. She said that. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. The next 25 years belong to the teams who dare to build something surprising, something no one else is willing to try, and have the patience to see it through. See, I think this is still some of Phil Spencer's influence. But she had to take the position. I'm telling you, we have done this before, and I'm here to help us do it again. I want to return to the renegade spirit that built Xbox in the first place. It will require us to relentlessly question everything, revisit processes, protect what works, and be brave enough to change what does not. Thank you for welcoming me into this journey, says Asha. So that's pretty much that right there. And this is pretty much what she had to say, which I'm pretty sure she had some help with. And if here's the thing, like her coming from an AI position and coming into here, I think some of that influence, like I said, is still Phil Spencer because he said he's helping guiding to the summer. So as far as Satya, I wouldn't see him saying anything like that, and he's still leading. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out, right? And remember what she said right here. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. What do you think? How do you feel? Obviously, Matt had a message down here. I read Phil's note with much gratitude. He has been a steady champion for game creators and our studio teams, and I've learned so much from his leadership over the years. All our games have benefited from his foundational support. I'm also grateful to Satya for his ongoing commitment to gaming and honing a vision on how it can connect back to the larger community. PR. Looking forward, I'm excited to partner with Asha as our next CEO. Our first conversations centered on her commitment to making great games and the role that plays in our overall success. She asks questions, pushes for clarity, and wants our choices grounded in players and developer needs. The mindset matters as the industry around us is changing quickly, how players engage, how games are made, and how business models and platforms evolve. We have good reasons to believe in what's ahead. This organization and its franchises have navigated change for decades, and our strength comes from teams who know how to adapt and keep delivering. Their confidence is grounded in a strong pipeline of established franchises, new bets we believe in, and clear player demand for what we're building. My focus is on supporting the teams and leaders we have in place and creating the conditions for them to do their best work. To be clear, there are no organizational changes underway for our studios. Thank you everything you do for players and for each other, Matt. It's like all this stuff again sounds nice, but it's still in the worst position it's ever been. And you have to be a strong publisher. Like Xbox consoles are selling great or anything, or like you're dominating the whole industry, and it's like, yeah, you do have to make a change, but that takes time. All this stuff is like super, like blinding. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna stay in reality. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, we're gonna see what happens, right? You guys let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below as usual and a like. Peace out. Keep gaming no matter what platform you're on. Later, y'all.